Iran's supreme leader said Friday that negotiations with America are not intelligent, wise or honorable after President Donald Trump floated nuclear talks with Tehran. According to Associated Press, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei also suggested that there should be no negotiations with such a government, but stopped short of issuing a direct order not to engage with Washington. Khamenei's remarks append months of signals from Tehran to the United States that it wanted to negotiate over its rapidly advancing nuclear program in exchange for the lifting of crushing economic sanctions worth billions of dollars. What happens next remains unclear, particularly as reformist President Masoud Pezeshkian campaigned on and promised as recently as Thursday entering into a dialogue with the West. Khamenei's remarks to Air Force officers in Tehran appeared to contradict his own earlier remarks in August that opened the door to talks. However, the 85-year-old Khamenei has always carefully threaded his remarks about negotiating with the West. That includes balancing the demands of reformists within the country who want the talks against hardline elements within Iran's theocracy, including the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. Khamenei noted that Trump unilaterally withdrew from the earlier nuclear deal under which Iran drastically limited its enrichment of uranium and overall stockpile of the material, in exchange for crushing sanctions being removed. It's not clear what sparked Khamenei's remarks. However, they come after Trump suggested he wanted to deal with Tehran, even while signing an executive order to reimpose his maximum pressure approach to Iran on Tuesday.
مذاکره کردیم، امتیاز دادیم، کوتاه آمدیم، اما نتیجه‌ای که مقصودمون بود به دست نیاوردیم. همین معاهده را هم با همه این نقص‌هایی که داشت طرف مقابل باز خراب کرد، نقض کرد، پاره کرد. با یه چنین دولتی مذاکره نباید کرد. مذاکره کردن عاقلانه نیست، هوشمندانه نیست، شرافتمندانه نیست. با مذاکره با آمریکا هیچ مشکلی حل نمیشه. دلیل تجربه. ما اگر تهدیدمون بکنن تهدیدشون میکنیم. اگر این تهدید رو عملی کنن ما هم تهدید رو عملی میکنیم. اگر به امنیت ملت ما تعرض کنن ما هم به امنیت اونها تعرض خواهیم کرد بدون تردید.
Federal immigration officials said they conducted an operation targeting members of a Venezuelan gang in the Denver area on Wednesday, but they didn't immediately say how many gang members were arrested. In a post on X, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said more than 100 members of Tren de Aragua were targeted for arrest and detention in Aurora, a Denver suburb where gang activity drew the attention of President Donald Trump during last year's campaign. Operations were also seen elsewhere in the Denver area. In a video posted along with a statement on the operation, an unidentified ICE officer said ICE and other federal law enforcement agencies were conducting an at-large enforcement operation looking for members of the gang. According to Associated Press, immigration officers raided a large apartment complex in southeast Denver early Wednesday morning, going door to door and asking residents for identification. It started with a message in our tenant chat group. I got a message from my neighbor saying that cops were going from door to door, said Hannah Stickline, who lives at the Cedar Run apartments. And then we figured out it was ICE. And about 5 minutes later, I got a knock on my own door. About 6 armed, heavily armed officers demanding an ID. Stickline said she was very scared and heartbroken by the raid, adding that many of the people who live in the apartment complex are families. The nearby suburb of Aurora was thrust into the national spotlight last year when armed men from the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua were seen entering an apartment on a widely circulated video. A man was shot to death outside the apartment complex about 10 minutes after the video was taken. The campaign of then-candidate Donald Trump seized on the violence to claim immigrants had turned Aurora into a war zone. Trump announced a plan to target migrant gangs nationally, calling it Operation Aurora, during an October campaign visit to the 400,000-person city just east of Denver.
Well, it started with a message in our tenant chat group. I got a message from my neighbor saying that cops were going from door to door, and then we figured out it was ICE, and about 5 minutes later I got a knock on my own door, about 6 heavily armed officers demanding an ID. We're very scared. We're heartbroken. It's a very sad thing to see. And it's also very scary to see all of this surrounding your home. I was in my home. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I answered the door. They said, "We need an ID." Like, okay, what for? Clearly, I'm not what you're looking for. And then I gave them an ID so they would move on, and they asked me to tattle on my neighbors, which I didn't do. It's insulting and infuriating because I would never snitch on my neighbors. They're mostly families. That's it. I mean, they're families. They work, they come home, they have kids who play. Like, it gets a little loud and rowdy at some point, but they're just people.
They think they can go door to door, building to building, block to block. They think they can make us be silent. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back.
They are coming illegal to my house. They should have a warning papers, and they don't have it. They don't have anything. We are human here. Like, we are refugee. Not from our countries. We from God. We are refugee in this world. We should support each other. We should stuck together. The dictatorship, especially like Trump demonstration, is the dictator right now. What he's doing is unfair. It's hunting the human being in the world. It's unfair for me.
You have the right to an attorney. Don't sign anything. No firmes nada. Tienes